Hey beauties, good evening to you beautiful people. Beauties, listen now. Sorry. I saw something online and I there's something with us. We feel when negative situations take place or negative occurrences take place that there has to be something deep seated behind it. Let me get into the story. A woman said, she came to Jamaica to celebrate emancipation, I guess independence, and so on. So there's somebody that she knows. She said she has never been romantically involved with the individual. How the article posited it, it seemed as if they were probably just cordial people. Like, how are you doing? How are you? They were not even friends. She said she has never had sexual intercourse with this person. They're not. I think it says like they're just maybe associates, but he has a business, like a car rental business, and she rented her vehicle. I guess he was trying to see if he can put his moves on her by inviting her out or inviting her home. And she said no. She turned him down. And she said he beat her almost to death. People feel that you have to be involved with somebody or there must be some sort of a transaction that would cause him to do that because he couldn't just do that like that. Yes, he can, beautiful people. I remember some years ago, the lady she's now an amputee. Her both legs are gone. She said she had a neighbor who was listening to her. It was just one of those documentaries where they interview you, trying to overcome challenges in a sense, or overcoming challenges rather. She said, I had a neighbor. He was, it's not a neighbor that you would even talk to very often. But she remembers he was interested in her and she was not. And most people try not to date people that they live in the same scheme with too. It's a general practice, a general rule, a silent rule but a universal rule. That people generally follow. Not everyone. Some people probably get married or get involved. But generally people follow that. They say where you work or where you live. Mm-mm. And she told him, no, I'm not interested. So on. They were not friends even, just neighbors. And I know what she's talking about. And she said he went away for 4 years. She didn't see him for 4 years. And he came back. She heard a knock on the door. When she opened the door, it was he. And she said, okay, how are you? I've not seen you in a while. He said he went wherever he had gone. And he said, would you like me to show you some pictures of where I went? And she said, okay, all right, fine, I guess it didn't hurt. So she let him in and he took out, I guess, his laptop and started to show her. So he would ask, may I use your bathroom a second? And she said, sure, it's wherever. Did that. So as she's looking through the pictures, she just heard a gun sound, when you unlock it, I don't know what you call it, making the click, 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 click. And she just knew it was a gun. When she turned around, the man had a gun. He said, maybe told her, shut up, blah, blah. And he really started to rant and rave and say, imagine I'm interested in you and you turn me down. You women feel as if you're better than. And she's like shocked because she gave him no inclination, as there's nothing that she gave him to say we can have a relationship. She said she never flirted with him. How she spoke, as a matter of fact, sort of her tone, I believe what she was saying. And she said she was trying to back out, just walk backwards in a sense. Then he shot her in the back. She was trying to, and then he went outside and she was trying to crawl outside to say she could, beg people for help. The man found her car keys, went into her vehicle, long and short, drove over her legs, or drove over her. And today she's an amputee. When she was giving her story, the pain was so surreal, the pain was so excruciating that she couldn't make the crying sound. While she's telling the host the story, the tears were just coming down. They were just rolling down. They were just rolling down, that. And that type of tears, pain is real. That she couldn't even bawl out anymore, at that point, that juncture. I never forget when I was younger. There was a guy that lives near my neighborhood. I didn't know him. He would say hello. I would just say hello. But there was something creepy about him. So my hellos were very faint when I would respond because I tried to be very mannerly. And he would say hello. And if he says something, I'm looking, kind of give him the side. I look very frightened, a pretty girl, whatever it is. So okay, fine, I move on. I never held a conversation with him. But each time he sees me, the hellos and the talks would get more scarier. And just, there was something, I didn't like it. I just felt, I said, anyhow, I was somewhere where this man could hold me down and RAPE me, he would. And I started to feel uncomfortable and uneasy. And I didn't see him for a long time. And when he saw me afterwards, after a long, long time, that thing just got worse. So listen to me, people. You don't have to be in a relationship with a man. You don't have to give him ideas that something could have happened. You don't have to flirt with him. As a matter of fact, you wonder if being, as a matter of fact, sort of tone, if abruptly saying no, you wonder if just saying, look here, no, and not giving them any idea that something can go on is a turn on. And they want you more. There's some people who get kicks out of that. It must be something psychologically gone wrong, emotionally, psychologically, and mentally gone wrong, because that cannot be normal behavior. You have women who have not led on men. They have told them point blank, they were firm. As a matter of fact, they were too firm. And something just chipping a man's head where he says he's not taking this denial. And they get angry and they come and they beat on the woman and beat up on the woman. He beat the woman to a frazzle. Somebody says something doesn't sound right. I said, there's nothing that has to sound right or wrong about this. You have men who are like that. Just as how you have women, when you watch these movies, these true story movies with stalker women, where the man has not given the woman any inclination, for example, and she don't stop until she does something, either to destroy the man's family, destroy his life, or find a way to get him, and she still may not get him. But you have people who are like that, who are psychologically and emotionally disturbed, mentally even. They're disturbed and they will do these things. I hope they charge him. You understand me? Because that's like attempted murder. I believe the woman when she said she was not involved with him sexually and she never gave him any ideas. They probably were not friends. I could have gone through maybe somebody like that. There are people who will be interested in me, and I never gave them an inclination, never flirted. And you could see that anger when you turn them down, when they're making a move and say no. You don't embarrass them. I say, no, I'm sorry, I'm not interested. And it's almost like they can't believe you that you're saying you're not interested. It's as though you must be interested. If I'm interested, you must be interested. What are you really saying? Are you crazy? What are you really saying? What do you mean by there has to be something more? There's nothing more. It doesn't have to be anything more. You do have people who are like that. You understand? Who will not respect people's boundaries, and they have an entitlement spirit. Maybe when they were younger, anything that they wanted, they got. So they grew up with that kind of a mentality where, oh, I got what I wanted, how dare her turn me down. Or maybe other women that they've approached, got easy. And now this one turned them down and they can't handle it because they have this strong attraction, this fatal attraction towards a woman. Remember that when you think these movies that they make is just fake, or they make up out of their heads. They do some of the scenes for dramatic purposes, but these things are real. I remember I never used to believe that they were real until, with the scary guy that I told you happened to me. And I remember I was saying to a man, these movies that we see with the fatal attraction movies, a man said to me, Toni-Ann, what you saying? This was years ago. He said, I remember it happened to me. He said, what you saying to me? It's real as they get. And you don't have to give them any form of anything. It's like it's a turn on when you're not interested, and when you turn them down, you boof them or not boof them, but you say, I am not interested. I hope they charge him for attempted murder and he pays the consequences of his actions. He pays for it. How dare him beat the woman to a frazzle because she says she's not going home with you? How dare you? And even she was involved with him. How did he make her to go and beat her up like that? Even if they were involved and she decided that she no longer wants to be involved with a psychopath like that. Real psychopath. People, you have to understand, there are people out there mentally and psychologically and emotionally disturbed. Years ago it came out in the Glean about the mental disturbance. Years ago, so you can imagine it now. Probably they are 90%. Guys, you know what to do in terms of TikTok and YouTube.